Welcome to the first part of Advance Wars 2 Reboot Camp. Why am I using a fresh profile for this? It's because I want to show off something. Well, two things. Yes, you must be Big Clingy too! You see, I've sent the clone of me created by the Black Hole Army to demonstrate something.
My name's Now.
Yes, we know that.
Say, is this your first time playing Advance Wars?
If you say no here...
Oh, it's good to see you back. One of my jobs is to provide lessons on how to play the game. I also offer strategic advice along the way.
And this is kind of what the tutorials in Black Hole Rising will be if you choose to do them. Yes, there are optional tutorials in the second campaign, because they were the only tutorials you would have back when the games were separate. So, if we go into campaign here, I wanted to make sure to show this off. This story has yet to be revealed. Warning! The Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising campaign contains content that may reveal secrets of the Advance Wars campaign's plot. We recommend that you clear the Advance Wars campaign before continuing. Would you like to continue anyway? Yes. And that unlocks Black Hole Rising, and as you can see, it spoils Sturm existing. The other reason I wanted to do this is because if you start a new file and challenge campaign, you don't get to see the intro of the campaign. And obviously I want to show that for the sake of the plot, so let's start our second story. Upon the once peaceful continents of Macroland, the Black Hole Army begins to tighten its iron grip of domination.
Hawk, come forth.
Yes, Lord Sturm.
Commanding officers plural, not just Clone Andy and Sturm, alongside this guy. Black Hole has expanded their ranks quite a bit since their last invasion attempt.
And our objective is clear, yes?
Yes, my lord.
Not long ago, so there's no real official confirmation of how much time passes in between Advance Wars 1 and 2. I like to think that it was at least a year, though the characters don't look any older. And yet, you got wrecked by Eagle's lightning drive. Yeah, now I believe in the original GBA versions, this was like the first time they gave a name to the regions for either campaign. A nice evil laugh there. Unless they did mention Cosmoland and Advance Wars 1, they probably did. I never played Advance Wars 1 GBA growing up. Black Hole Rising and this cutscene, this was my introduction to the series. So this line right here, to that end, I require materials and funding. This, when I first played, made me think you would play the tutorial as Black Hole, and that it would explain how they got the bases and funding they needed to start their invasion. Honestly, that wouldn't be a terrible beginning, and it'd actually be kinda cool. However, that's not the case.
Never, my lord.
Yeah, probably a bad thing to fail somebody who sounds like that and looks like Darth Vader. Though in this case, he'll do more than just force choke you, he'll drop a freaking meteor on your head.
Hey, Sammy. Nell said you needed to see us.
And welcome to the campaign map music of Black Hole Rising, which is one of my favorite songs in the whole series.
Andy, Max, thanks for coming so quickly. You're not gonna believe this, but the Black Hole Army's back.
You gotta be kidding! Didn't they learn their lesson the last time?
I think this line's a little different than it was in the original, and I like it. So yes, I've definitely played this game before a lot. I'm much more familiar with what the original dialogue was like, so I will be noticing and pointing out any changes that I can find. That means that this remake has got much higher standards for me, because I never played the original, so I didn't have any frame of reference. By the original, I mean the original Advance Wars 1. Yeah, definitely important to know somebody's location, otherwise you get led around by the nose like with Sonya.
Really?
What's a continent again?
You twerp.
Don't say that too much or you'll turn into Team Rocket.
I do so.
But yeah, that's actually a new portrait compared to the first game's reboot camp, which I was not expecting. And this line, I'm pretty sure, was exactly the same in the original game. I remember it.
Alright, knock it off, you two.
So, one thing that you'll hear me talk about more as I go through the Orange Star campaign of Black Hole Rising, I actually think Black Hole Rising it gets the banter between the characters a lot better than the first game did. There are a lot, more character dynamics in this, and I just kind of feel a little bit more attached to the Orange Star characters, even though you play as them less in Black Hole Rising. Yep, they're officially our allies now. And Green Earth too. Oh boy, is Green Earth under attack. You'll see that later. Yeah, that's the second part of this line I think is new. And this is actually a common theme of Black Hole Rising. It does take war a lot more seriously than the first game did. Especially in some missions that we'll be seeing later. Yeah, Andy does seem to have gotten attached to a lot of the people we met in the first campaign. The funny thing is, Andy had kinda ship-teased with Sonya in Advance Wars 1, and that's almost entirely dropped in this game.
Wait a sec, Andy. Andy!
Hey, don't despair, Max. I mean, I know you've got weaker since the first game, but still. And yeah, Nell's ready to give a refresher on basic combat ops. As I said, there are optional tutorials in Black Hole Rising in the remake. In the original Black Hole Rising's normal mode, the tutorials were required. And there's actually a lot I'm going to have to explain because there are quite a few new mechanics in Advance Wars 2.
Let's do it.
And so before I head into the challenge campaign, I'm going to start with cleanup in the classic campaign because this mission is skipped outright in challenge mode. It's generally considered way too easy. There's no way they could have made this any harder without it being made kind of ridiculous. A new enemy has planted its flag on Orange Star soil, face off with Black Hole's troops, and drive them all out. Our enemy is Flak. I've been looking forward to this guy.
Hey, what gives? Why aren't those orange star lines broken yet?
And he is voiced by Sungwon Cho, just like Eagle, so in this case, Lord Sturm sends his regards.
I'm sorry, sir. They're stronger than we had anticipated.
So, the new design of the Black Hole troops, I admit it is something I'm a little iffy on, because in the original, you could actually see their faces, and you could tell they looked very, very alien.
You don't hear so good.
Yes, sir. Lord Flak!
High casualties, huh? Bring it on! Oh wait, that's a bad thing. And we get different themes for each of the nations when starting a mission. They're actually a little shortened in Reboot Camp compared to the original, but Reboot Camp does have full versions of them.
Phew, that was close.
that you can unlock from Hachi's shop, which is really cool. In the original, they just kind of looped on a very short, loop, but they've been expanded into full tracks here. So, we've got Nell here again. We're facing off against 1 tank, 1 artillery, 2 infantry, and that's all.
Commander!
Nell! Andy! Oh yeah! Settle down, Andy.
Yeah, Andy's eager as always, but in this game, Andy's actually nowhere near as dumb as he was in the first one. And yeah, Andy really has improved his battle skills. Oh boy, you'll see. I did say way earlier that Andy gets a lot better in Black Hole Rising, and I've been looking forward to talking about why. This isn't training, well, I mean, technically it's not training, but in the original, this basically was training. This was pretty much a tutorial on how to move units and attack with them. Well, maybe. Also, yeah, the music playing right now is the Orange Star theme, and it too has been expanded a little bit in Reboot Camp.
Yes, ma'am!
Yeah, there are actually much more varied objectives in Black Hole Rising's campaign compared to the first one. It's definitely a little more narratively driven. Let's have her explain. Terms, status, unit, and guide. Anytime you select terms, yep, we know this. Yeah, I like to choose guide a lot just to make sure I'm on track for power and technique scores, and power scores are a lot harder to get in this game. Because the enemy often... other stuff for other reasons. The enemy often has deployment facilities in Black Hole Rising. Yeah, this is actually kind of why I like to go for the tutorials, because they do have some fun dialogue that you'd miss otherwise. Don't be a fool and run those troops around in circles, huh? Well, I've got some bonus material relating to that. But... okay then, you might notice those 3 small circles and 3 big circles under Andy's portrait instead of 1 continuous bar. I'll explain what that means, but first let's just go ahead and get our units into position. Really, there's not a whole lot to do here besides just, you know, move forward, don't hold back. We've pretty much got Flak totally outclassed, so it's just a matter of, how we systematically destroy his units. Let's move our artillery forward to cover the tank in the neck. Speaking of Flak, though...
That's one tough lady.
Yep, this is where the fun begins. He didn't even move his artillery to cover that tank, huh? I get the impression that whoever it was just wants to smash things. Yep, definitely a word-for-word line from the original. Well, actually, that's kind of true. So, I'm going to explain how Andy's changed later, because now... remember when I said that Andy had got a lot less dumb in Black Hole Rising? Well, I like to think that after the events of the first game, a ritual was conducted to exorcise the stupidity from all the CO's bodies. However, this ritual had a hidden side effect. Unbeknownst to everyone, the stupidity coalesced and gained sentience, becoming this guy! The strongman of the Black Hole Army who was promoted from private by Hawk, probably just because he thought it would be funny. Occasionally strikes with barbaric strength. Flak's units may randomly strike with a modifier between -10 and +15. So, Flak, I'll just say it right here, is an intentional joke character. He is the worst CO in the game. You only want to play as Flak if you're just doing it for fun because you want to prove you can win as him. He is a joke, and he revolves entirely around luck damage. Just like Nell. However, even his biggest luck modifier, 15, is only 5 higher than everyone else. As a refresher, any attack can do, as that percentage there, it'll have either 0 to 9 added onto it, so I might do up to 49% damage here. Flak, Flak, if he was in this engagement, could potentially do up to an extra 14. Which would be 58%, which seems quite high, but he can also do between 0 and -9, so he might end up doing only 35%. And the way that good luck and bad luck interact is the game rolls good luck first and adds it, and then rolls bad luck and subtracts it. So in order for Flak to actually get the full plus 15, he has to roll a 15 on his good luck and a 0 on his bad luck, which is pretty unlikely. So Flak is more likely to end up somewhere around like +2 on average, which is pretty bad. And it gets even worse when you see Flak's CO powers. Now in Advance Wars 2, everybody has both a normal power and a superpower, and Flak has the average meter length of 3 normal and 3 super. I'll explain how the meter length works next turn, I think, but I need to talk about Flak's powers because they suck. Brute Force. So this increases the range of his dispersion. It can go up to +40, but also down to -20. They also gain +10 to defense. I'll explain what that means next turn. And superpower, Barbaric Blow. They can go up to +80 or -30. Which is, yeah, even worse than the normal power. So people have actually calculated that on average, Flak gets a 10% firepower bonus out of his normal power, and a 20% bonus out of his superpower. That is really bad. That is incredibly bad, considering that most people get like +30 on their normal and like +50 or something on their super. So, yeah, Flak is terrible. And, yeah, he's basically designed to be the early game bandits in terms of Fire Emblem tropes. He's the easy guy that you fight at the start of the game. And so, let's begin attacking here. Now, terrain also reduces luck damage, just as a bit of a refresher, so the game will add the luck damage first and then subtract terrain. One really cool thing about Reboot Camp, though, is that in the original Black Hole Rising, the COs didn't actually have, like, dynamic portraits in the battle screen. You could only see, like, they just have completely flat, static images. And not particularly interesting looking ones either. Okay, he can still attack my artillery from below, that's a little bit unfortunate, but again, it's Flak. You might also notice that I have a little bit of a circle with Andy filled up, and Flak has a little bit of one of his circles filled up too. So let's see what he does. Now, after Flak, I actually skipped battle animations for my whole run of the normal campaign of Black Hole Rising, so I'm actually totally blind on what the other Black Hole CO's animations look like, so that's going to be fun to discover. And yeah, once again, we get to see the Black Hole Troopers, but we'll be seeing them a lot from now on. Yeah, that artillery just likes to stay put, it's weird. Okay. So, I feel like Nell does explain how powers work eventually, and as always, you generally want to attack from a plane over a road because that has higher defense, so let's go to this. If I play my cards right, or use my units right, I may be able to complete this while only losing a single unit. I love that jaw drop that Flak does. Again, just like, the characters already had a lot of personality in the original, but like, this just adds so much to it. Because again, they never did this in Black Hole Rising, they just had straight up static portraits. And there we go, do you notice the display there is filling up with energy? That's the CO power meter. Energy will gradually build up. If you notice it's flashing, your CO power is ready to go. When the CO power is ready, you can activate it. Yeah, this is the same as the first game. Keep an eye on your enemy CO power meter as well, they won't hesitate to use their own CO power against us. Intel and CO powers. Okay, so Nell didn't explain the main changes in Black Hole Rising, which I'm going to do now. Because it is just an easy tutorial mission. So, I'm going to block off Andy's superpower right now. I'll be explaining that in the next mission with Andy, because I'll be doing a separate overview for Black Hole Rising Andy. The way that the meter works in Black Hole Rising is, again, it's divided into two sections. The small blocks are for the normal power. The normal powers mostly work, like, they're mostly similar to the ones in Advance Wars 1, though some of them have been modified a little bit. A subtle but important change is that all CO powers now only give +10 to defense in Black Hole Rising, instead of +10 to firepower and defense. Except Clone Andy, he's the only one who keeps that, but you don't see him in the Black Hole Rising campaign anyway. However, the meter doesn't stop there. If you don't use your normal power and keep waiting, you'll start filling up the big squares for the superpower. Once you completely fill up the meter, you'll be able to use that. Another hidden mechanic of the meter is that if you use your normal power while some of the blocks for your super are already filled, the normal power costs 20% more meter than usual. This mechanic is likely to stop you from using your normal power twice in a row. Now, the meter fills up based on funds of damage. So for example, this infantry is worth 1,000. If I destroy this infantry, then I will be gaining 200 worth of meter charge. Actually, I won't be. Flak will be gaining 200 worth of meter charge because damage taken adds the full meter charge. This is just like it was in Advance Wars 1. Basically, this means the CO powers act like a bit of a comeback mechanic. If you're doing badly, then you might end up gaining a little bit more power meter than usual. However, you might notice that Flak only has a tiny bit more power than I do. That's because dealing damage gives 50% meter charge in Black Hole Rising, instead of 25% like it was in Advance Wars 1. So the loser's advantage has actually been decreased a little bit in this game, which is kind of interesting. It means that going on the offense is rewarded a little bit more in Black Hole Rising. So that's good to know. But it's also important because it means that, lets you charge up your superpowers faster. Depending on how things go, I may get Andy's normal power in this mission, but I kinda doubt it. There just aren't a lot of units on the field. Speaking of not a lot of units on the field, we just have that artillery over there, and I think I'm going to actually advance on that artillery now, so I can take out this guy. Just like in the first game, you can hold down the R2 button or ZR button to speed up battle animations. Gonna just get this one little guy with the bazooka to finish off that tank. So that's done, and now, the problem is I can't move my artillery in range of his without potentially getting shot, but, okay then. Right, if I put an infantry here, the APC does get hit. The thing is, I'm pretty sure the AI in Black Hole Rising does not have as much of a pathological hatred of APCs as it did in the first game. I don't know if Reboot Camp has improved the Black Hole Rising AI any, but I do know that it wasn't great, but the AI was far better in Black Hole Rising on GBA than it was in Advance Wars 1 on GBA. And Reboot Camp had to keep a lot of the original Advance Wars 1 AI because Challenge Campaign is basically designed around exploiting the AI in Advance Wars 1, unfortunately. Advance Wars 2's hard mode is a little bit more fair, and Advance Wars 2 in general I find a little bit more fair than 1. I actually think that Black Hole Rising is potentially a better starting point, especially when it comes to learning how to deploy new units. It eases you into things a lot better. So okay, yeah, again, I'm probably not going to get a hyper repair. You're generally only going to see powers in the second mission. Oh, I'm so sorry, but this very much is how it's going to... I had a feeling he'd retreat back to the HQ, but it's not going to save him because my tank is in range. So, let's attack from the woods for a good measure. Let's finish this. Flak's first loss of many. At least the Black Hole HQs look really cool. So this theme actually never played for winning missions in Black Hole Rising. I think it simply still played the map theme. But yeah, this was a very, very easy. In fact, you kind of have to actively try to lose.
That's just a taste of my skill.
Pretty sure that's a word-for-word victory quote from the original. I love hearing these all fully voice-acted. And also, yeah, there's a different background with the clouds, and also different victory music in Black Hole Rising. As you can tell, the victory theme is a lot more somber in Black Hole Rising, which again shows the conflict as being taken more seriously. And we still have the usual count-up music afterwards. And with Mission 1 completed... I'm just going to skip over the after mission dialogue there, because I love the way that the territory just, like, goes back into your color. Because now, yeah, we're reclaiming our country from occupation. We unlock Mission 2, Border Skirmish, which is actually Mission 1 on Challenge Mode. So, I'll see you all next time when I actually go into the Challenge campaign proper and take on its version of Border Skirmish, which, is actually not that easy. See you all then. Before I go, there's a fun Easter egg in Cleanup that was preserved in Reboot Camp. If you run all of your units around until they're all out of fuel, this happens.
Andy!